Share my screen. There we go. Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Kim Sterling, Vice President of Professional Services with NCCHC. With me today is Matissa Salmons, Vice President of Certification for NCCHC, head of the CCHP program, and Rich Forbes, Vice President of Program Development, back on his first day of vacation, so be kind to him. And we are thrilled that so many of you are joining us here today. We're up to 71, 72 people on the call, so thank you so much. We have divided this session into the beginning is an introduction to what's going to happen in Baltimore. And then the second section is more information about all the various programs and services that NCCHC offers. So if you need to drop off at any time, as I said, we are recording the meeting and the slides for the meeting are available on the show website. And a link went out to them or is going out to them, out to you with that link today. So again, thank you, and we'll jump right into it.
Kim, I'm not able to see the slides. Or is everybody able to see the slides? Or we just
no, I haven't hit share yet.
Oh, I apologize. Thank you.
Or I thought I hit share and then it didn't take. So
I got you. Sorry, I thought you said you shared them, so I apologize.
Yeah, I thought I did. There we go.
Cool. There we go.
All right. Thank you. All righty. So let's make sure I can move the slides. There we go. All right. So this is our quick agenda for today. And again, please use the chat if you have any questions that we're not addressing, or you can kind of jump in. Since there's so many people on the call, we may not be able to see you if you raise your hand. So please feel free to unmute and ask a question as necessary. Also, honestly, most of us on the staff haven't really been to Baltimore or are not that familiar with it. So if you are a Baltimore native and you have any tips and tricks or things you want to share with people, please put those in the chat as well. And we will have time for Q&A at the end for people who do want to stick around. So just to get a feel for who's on the call with us today, we have our first poll question. If this is your first time at an NCCHC conference, and of course the controls have disappeared. Let me get back to that. And first time at an NCCHC conference. There we go. So hopefully that launched. Yep, starting to see the responses come in. And we're running about 2 to 1. Wonderful. So I will share the results of the poll. We're at about 67% are new to your first NCCHC conference, and about a third of the people are not. So thank you for coming back and being with us today. And we hope if you have questions that you'll get them answered. So thank you, everybody. And we'll move on. That was our first part of our audience participation. So this part of the session, we'll talk about where to go, how to find your way around, how to get your CE credit, because that's one of the most popular questions we get, and some links to save you money while you're in Baltimore. So hopefully by now everybody has visited the event website, which is this events ncchc.org/national conference/agenda, and think about what you'd like to attend while you have time when you're in your office. You can go right to the agenda. It lists all of the sessions, and you can print that out if you like. That we've also put the final program on the website, so you can download that, although you really don't need to, because you'll get that in a book when you arrive. And we also have the app, which we'll get into a little bit further, which allows you to look at all of the events as well. So start planning your event. If you are going with a team, a lot of times people like to either come to sessions together as a team or to split up so you cover more information while you're at the conference. So a little pre-planning can help you feel a little bit more in control of your schedule. We have loaded all of the presentations that we've received, and we've actually this time gotten about 95% of them already, which is great. So please feel free to download them if you'd like to have them with you. You can print them, you can put them on a laptop that you carry around. They're in PDFs for all the sessions, and you can take your notes on them, whatever you'd like to do. So that's available right now in your myncchc.org account. Under the My Conference Proceedings under National 2025. Here is the app, and that is the QR code to download the app, or you can go into your app store, depending on Apple or Android, and find Attendee Mobile. And that's what this app is called. And then you can just look up NCCHC, and you will find the NCCHC National Conference. So that's all you need to do if you just want to look at the app and look at the sessions that are coming up and see some more information, including information about the exhibitors. There's a hotel map in there. If you'd like to create your own schedule, you do need to log in. And if you'd like to see the registrants, you do need to log in. And to do that, you go in that top left-hand little 3-line menu and hit login. And I've sent out the login link to everybody as well. So hopefully people have tried it and not had any problems. If you're having trouble getting your password to set for you, just email us in the office at info@ncchc.org and I can do a password reset for you. You will see all the registrants for the events and where they're from and their job titles and their companies. And then, as I said, on that top screen, you will be able to set your own personal schedule. So we hope that's useful for you. Another poll question, see how new people are to Baltimore, because a lot of us have not really spent much time there. So let's launch the next one. And we'll see how our local people do compared to all of the visitors. And we're running about 2-to-1 on this one. No.
I like the airport one option there, Cam. That's pretty good.
We will share that one. So apparently we have some frequent visitors to Baltimore with us and some locals and people who've only been to the airport. And then a lot of us have never been there before. I was there many years ago for a conference, and so I have no idea where I'm going when I get there. So hopefully this presentation will help you feel a little bit more comfortable. And again, if you're local and you have any tips, please feel free to put them in the chat. So thank you for coming to Baltimore. This is our first truly East Coast meeting in a while, so we're really excited to see everybody there. All right, back to our presentation. For those of us who are flying in, if you are a public transportation aficionado or on a tight budget, there's a $2 light rail that takes about a half hour, not too bad, and runs very frequently. And there's a tram that stops right at the convention center. One hotel, the Hilton, is attached to the convention center, and the other one is across the street on the other side. So that's a great economical option for you. Our old standby taxi, Ubers, and Lyfts are available for about $30 to $35, take about 15 minutes. And then if you do drive, the convention center suggests the Spot Hero app, which will help you find parking depending on the day and time for about $30. There is parking at the Hilton and the Hyatt for about $35. So it's not as terrible as visiting a bigger city where they really hammer you on parking. But as far as the meeting's concerned, you really won't need a car when you're there. So if you're flying in, please feel free to not rent a car and just take the public transportation or the taxi. You'll save a little bit of money that way. As you may know, we are near the very popular Baltimore Inner Harbor tourist area, and the star on the map on the left shows you where we're going to be and how we're actually closer to the Inner Harbor than it looks. On the left side is the Hilton, and then on the right side by Light Street is the Hyatt. So the convention center takes up a lot of space. So you'll be closer to the inner harbor than you actually think. And that picture there shows you what to expect. Looks really pretty, and we're all looking forward to it. The Visitors Bureau has given us some links to this Charm City Passport, the BOP Pass, and passes for the National Aquarium. So if you are coming early with the intention of sightseeing, or you're bringing a family member or a friend, please feel free to take a look at these links, which are on our hotel page on the website, and save some money while you're there. And they looks like they cover a lot of stuff, a couple bucks here and there, and hopefully we can be a little more cost effective for you. So where do you go when you get to the meeting? Everything is going to take place in the convention center, and you want to start on level 300 in the Pratt Street lobby, which I guess is one of the main lobby areas for the convention center. If you come in on the lower level, come up to level 300. And if you're walking from the Hilton, you're just going to walk right through the skywalk. So right in that gray area for the Pratt Street lobby will be a lot of NCCHC counters. You won't be able to miss us. It will, since all of you are already registered for the meeting, you're going to look for badge pickup. And there'll be a fairly fast line where you just print out your badge, and they'll give you your bag with your final program in it and some goodies and giveaways. And I think we have pens this year, but please feel free to bring your own pen and a notepad if you want to take notes. And then you can start finding the rooms and sessions. It's, as you can tell, it's very easy to navigate once you're in that Pratt Street lobby. Everything is basically behind it on that level 300. We go down one level or two levels to get to the exhibits on level 100, and then we go up one level to the ballrooms where the food functions are. Outside of that, everything will be really tight and close together, right by the Starbucks and the Market Fresh Cafe, so it should be very easy to navigate. Again, if you have any trouble, NCCHC staff will be in that lobby, and please come to any of the registration desks. So this is just for my fellow introverts. A lot of people don't know anybody else who's going to be at the meeting. Save this slide, come back to it later if you're looking for, making conversation. But one of the biggest reasons to attend an in-person meeting is really to meet the people who are there. So, we really encourage you to start building your network, connect with people that you've met in the past, and make some new contacts. So just some ideas for you, and you probably have better ones, better colleague pickup lines that you can use. So what's going on every day? We have the pre-conference seminars going on Saturday. If you've only registered for the conference, that does not start really until Sunday evening with the reception. So you will receive a know before you go email, which should be coming out today, and that will highlight for you what you're registered for. So on Saturday, we have the 3 pre-conference sessions focusing on the new 2026 jail and prison standards, the new 2026 mental health standards, and the not new 2022 juvenile standards. So those are all-day programs. They include lunch. There'll be coffee in the morning. So if you need a breakfast, please do your breakfast before you get there. We will have the NCCHC store open in the lobby from 10 to 3, and that will allow you to purchase those new 2026 standards. And we've got some NCCHC apparel. So we are all ready to see you there in the bookstore. Sunday morning, we've got in red that the clocks fall back. I know most of us are using our phones, our smartwatches, so they should know it. But if you're depending on the hotel clock radio, keep that in mind. There are more pre-conference seminars that day. Again, a little coffee in the morning to get you going, but not a full breakfast. The store is open. That afternoon, we have the CCHP and specialty exams. That starts at 12:30 for check-in. In the morning, there is a CCHP study lounge sponsored by Yes Care. Thank you. Yes, Care, and you can go in there, have a little coffee, and have a quiet place to study for the exam. And that you will find on that level 300. I don't have the room offhand, but it will be in your materials in the final program and in your app. If you are signed up for our new NCCHC Foundation Bottomless Mimosa fundraising boat cruise, you need to be there by 11:30 to check in. And sorry, I'm getting notes sent to me and I'm losing my train of thought. The facility tour, if you are signed up for that in advance, is the New Beginnings Youth Development Center from the DC Department of Youth Services. And you need to be there slightly before 1. The buses are going to leave at 1 from the front of the convention center. And again, if you are signed up for that tour, you will receive a reminder and instructions on where to go. If you're interested in the Bottomless Mimosa boat cruise, and who wouldn't be, you can register for that through Thursday. So since our registration for the conference is now closed, just contact us in the office at IPC or info@ipc.org. Sorry, info@ncchc.org, and they will get you set up for the foundation cruise. If you're interested in going on the tour, we still have space available for that. It is $25, which is a gift to the NCCHC Foundation. And you can give that to somebody else if you signed up and you're no longer able to make it. And that does still have room for people to register on site on Saturday or Sunday morning. We can have 30 people for that. The exhibit hall opening reception starts at 5 p.m. on Sunday evening, and everyone is invited to that. And I will pause for a moment. It looked like I had a couple questions come in. We do have in the bookstore some new documents that we have just created that are a summary of every change that's been made to the 2026 standards. One book is for jails and prisons, and one book is for mental health. Those are $50. They're available in print in the bookstore, as well as our new online digital access, which you can buy actually right now in the bookstore, or get a set because the digital access does not allow for printing. So if you want the best of both worlds, you can buy a set for $75. Rich, do I need to pause for anything?
Yeah, there's one question. Dr. Jenny had a question saying she signed up for the suicide prevention and the bottomless mimosas. Is there a schedule conflict on that? I don't have the schedule in front of me, and I'm not 100% sure on that. I think we got answers for the other ones, though.
I will respond to that in the chat after I turn the session over to you. I think you're probably okay. I'm not sure.
I thought it was scheduled around it, but I just don't have it in front of me. So
yeah, I think you may end up missing the last 45 minutes or so, but you will have the slides from the session. So somebody asked about the pre-conference coming in late. Yes, if you're registered for it in advance, you can come in at any time. So, all right.
there was one other question that just popped up, Kim, about being too late to sign up for sessions. Are we still doing the pre-conference session signups?
No, right now online registration is closed, but you can come on Saturday morning for Saturday sessions. Registration opens at 8. And so we have to stand in line a little bit, but there's no problem signing up online. We do have a limit of 300 for the jail and prison class, and we're at about 225, but I think we should be just fine for that. The other ones are not going to max out. So you're okay. Come anytime Saturday or Sunday morning if you want to register for the Sunday classes. So thank you for asking, and we hope you'll be able to sign up. On Monday, I just want to point you to this graphic on the right side of the page is the final program, pages from the final program. So you'll see there'll be a grid with like a map of every single session that's going on with where it is, when it is. And then in the detail pages, they're going to list for you these learning objectives, the abstracts, and who the instructors are. And if you want to learn more about the instructors, all of their bios are on the app or on the website. So you can always use the final program to learn more about the session. On Monday, we have the keynote and award ceremony starting at 8, and that goes till 9:30. We run right into the exhibit hall breakfast, and then we've got the NCCHC store open. And then you'll have your choice of concurrent sessions between, I think that starts at 10:45, and that goes all the way until 5 p.m. for all the concurrent sessions. Attend any session that you like. You in a session that you don't like, you can get up and move to another session. It's completely fine. We have a fun reception at 5 o'clock with live music, lots of hors d'oeuvres, and an open bar at 5 o'clock, and everyone is welcome to come to that. It's hosted by the NCCHC Foundation, just to share a little bit more information about the foundation, but the majority of the time will be spent freestyle in a party. You won't be subjected to a lot of speeches or fundraising. On Tuesday, we've got the product theater breakfast at 7 a.m., which will be a nice hearty breakfast and a discussion. Concurrent sessions start at 8:15. We've got the last visit to the exhibit hall in the morning, including the raffle, where I will speak a little bit about the raffle later on. There is a lunch sponsored by Indivior, and then more sessions in the afternoon. Again, that's the last day for the NCCHC store. So hopefully by then, if you need standards, you will have stopped by and picked them up. And then there is a product theater reception starting at 5:30. Again, some adult beverages and some very hearty snacks, and some education as well there. Wednesday is Peer Conference. We start with roundtable breakfast discussions. Smaller group meetings to talk about specific topics, and those are listed in your final program on the app and on the website. Concurrent sessions all day, and it includes an educational lunch. So a lot going on. Hopefully it's not too overwhelming if you just kind of take it day by day and take a look at your agenda online or in the app or in the program. You will be in great shape. I see questions coming in from Matisa on the CCHP exam, and we will let her handle that. So we do have we don't know how busy we're going to be in the bookstore, and there's only 2 of us working most of the time. So if you do want to order your books in advance, or get the information you need so you can get your approval before you come, if you go now to the NCCHC bookstore, where I have the QR code and the link there is a category called Print Standards for Pickup at National Conference. And that's going to include the 3 new standards, as well as those new change documents. So we'll have a little express line set up, and we'll be able to give you your standards a little faster if they're prepaid. So it may be I'm sure it will be fine. We're talking about a few minutes in line either way, but we thought this might make it more convenient for people. So that's all set up for you. And we're going to close that Thursday at 5. So we have everything ready for everybody, as most of the staff will be traveling Thursday and Friday. Number 1 question we normally get is, how do I get my CE certificate? And that is in your my.ncchc.org area portal. And you will see claim my CE credit. Go in there, pick this meeting, and you'll have the option to evaluate all the sessions that you attended. And you can come in, do some, go out, come back to it, do them while you're sitting in the session, come back afterwards. Just don't hit submit, because then you're done. You can't go back into the portal, and that allows you to print or email your certificate. If you get messed up, which happens, just email us at education@ncchc.org. But you will get instructions for that by email, and it will be in the final program as well. So that is where we are. Any questions that we need to address on the conference? Somebody asked about the proceedings tab. That is to, yes, your NCCHC account. So
Kim, I got one for you that was up a little bit above. It was about information. If they signed up to moderate a class, when will they get the information on that?
That comes from Toyin from the education department, and I assume that will be coming out by email this week.
Okay.
And if she's got any specific questions, just email us at education@ncchc.org. Somebody asked again about how to access the app. And once you download Attendee Mobile, you're just going to search for NCCHC, and you will find this 2025 conference. Oh, Mary said correctly, we have a brand new feature on the exhibit hall floor this time, and that will be professional headshots. So nice and free. Come in and Mary, will you put in the chat who sponsored that so I don't say the wrong name, but that is a really nice benefit if you want to get a nice headshot taken. So I'm going to turn this over to Rich, and I'll jump in on the chat as well. And if anybody's having trouble logging in, I just want to remind you, it is not your NCCHC, my NCCHC password. It is a brand new password that you either need to set up or use it from last time. Somebody just asked about the dress code. It's business casual. Sometimes our presenters will choose to dress up in business wear, but I think we see people in jeans and t-shirts as well. So it kind of runs the gamut, but you certainly will not feel underdressed if you are in business casual. And thank you, Mary. We have Correct RX sponsoring the new photo studio. So thank you to Correct RX. So I will jump this over to Rich.
All right. Thanks, Kim. So we'll go ahead real quickly, kind of talk about NCCHC and our origins and some of the services we provide here. And we'll close this out with some additional questions and answers if you have any of those. So starting out, everybody knows, or pretty much knows, NCCHC started in 1983 as an organization. However, we were actually an organization under the American Medical Association back in the 70s. Everybody has probably heard of Estelle v. Gamble. If you've been involved in correctional healthcare, it's your SCOTUS ruling that resulted in the mandated healthcare for persons that are in custody, rights to access care, right to care that's ordered and orderly and provided properly, and professional medical judgment that's separate from custody. American Medical Association was already working on the accreditation program well before Estelle v. Gamble. It was actually in the early 70s. They were already doing some of the test accreditations at the time that case came through. NCCHC actually derived directly from the American Medical Association and became a not-for-profit in 1983. So a lot of people don't realize that, but the AMA is the foundation of the organization. They remain on our advisory board with 30 organizations today that oversee the operation here. The standards that have been developed, they were developed initially by the American Medical Association as well. They've evolved over the years to the version you see now. You see the new version at the conference when you're there. They support the rights as the first and foremost thing is we support that constitutional right to care, and they serve as that framework and that foundation of providing the proper system, policies, procedures, and practices to keep you out of trouble, to keep you in the nationally recognized best practices. Next slide. This one is just an overview of the different services that we provide. So at the very bottom there, you see education conferences. You'll be attending. For those of you for the first time coming, you'll actually be experiencing that firsthand. Everything else here is laid out as far as our standards, our professional certification program. Matisse is going to talk about here in a little bit. Our accreditation program we're primarily known for. NCCHC resources, we'll talk a little bit about them. That's our consulting affiliate. And then the foundations are not-for-profit separate that does the support for the correctional healthcare field. We do scholarships. You'll get to experience that with some of the scholarship recipients at the conference. Education and other research. We're also working on some stuff with reentry that's exciting coming down the pipe in 2026 to start off and get kicked off. So really good stuff coming down the pipe with them as well. So the first thing we'll talk about is the standards. We're going to go in order off of our services list there. And we'll go to the next slide here. And the slides have been updated. These are, if you haven't seen them yet, this is what the new standards look like. You'll see the mental health and the new prisons and jail standards. When it comes to that delivering that quality health care, that foundation of constitutional level of care, that's what the standards provide you. Your systems, your policies, your practices, your procedures. If you're following these, you're looking at these, you're using them as a guideline to develop what you do, you're going to be in really good shape. And it's something we talk about a lot. I do business development for the organization. So it's something I talk about with new clients frequently is at a minimum, look at the standards, look at what you're doing and compare that and kind of lay it out. As we mentioned, 2026, the new versions are all out. OTP is actually out now. It's being worked on. SAMHSA, of course, with the government shutdown, there's some delays there, but we're hoping to get those as soon as possible once everything kind of gets squared away. Those will be coming out. The 3 new ones are out. They will be present at the conference. You'll be able to acquire those if you haven't already. Next slide, please. So what we're primarily known for, when everybody talks about facility accreditation, we have a program. We have over 560 voluntary programs in this country and in Puerto Rico and territory that are actually accredited. Our primary program is health services for jails and prisons. We have mental health, we have juvenile, we have opioid treatment programs as well. And I'll get a little bit more into those in a minute. But basically, that facility accreditation confirms you're meeting national standards. Our third-party surveyors will come in. We look at what you're doing. We're going to rate your facility there. We send that information up to our accreditation committee, and they make a decision on accreditation. The standards themselves, through that accreditation, they promote that you have an efficient, well-managed healthcare system. You're meeting that constitutional level of care. I keep going back to that because it's so important. It's a huge area of liability. When you're running a jail, I come from the custody side. Whether you're running that jail or you're working on the medical side or both, we're all in this together. And that's the biggest source of liability in your facility and your operation. One of the big ones with the accreditation we find is it reduces the grievances and enhances safety. How it enhances safety, it's not just the care it's provided, it's also that lack of the fear of unknown. When people know their needs are being met, when they're getting that mental health treatment, when they're getting the opioid treatment, when they're getting health care taken care of, it reduces that stress that you see in facilities typically that are not accredited or that are having issues with delivery of services. We work with those facilities to make sure that delivery is more efficient, effective, and you're keeping that safety up there. Reducing the risk is a no-brainer. When you're operating under our standards, and I tell people this all the time, our standards are referenced constantly when you look at a settlement from the DOJ, when you look at consent decrees, they directly reference our standards when there's a medical issue at play that's resulting in that consent decree or agreement. So they use us as that guideline. So why not use that guideline and use those ahead of time to make sure that constitutional level of care is being met? The last thing I really want to hit on here is the public perception, because when you're operating under a third party coming in and taking a look at your operation, it makes a difference. What the public thinks, there's a vision of what happens in jails. Those of us that work on the side of the walls, those of us that work corrections, medical, or both, we know what really happens here is we provide an excellent level of care and a high level of care compared to what happens in the community. And that public perception is helped by having that third party accreditation. We like being part of that. We love partnering with our organizations and our facilities we work with, and we know we make a difference and save lives doing what we do. So we appreciate that partnership. We can go move on to the next one. And there is an accreditation update here, just for reference. I think that one's the next one, right, Kim? Yeah. Okay. The accreditation update here. So January 1st, we had our new standards. Our health services for jails and prisons came out July 1st. The deadline is January 1st is when all new accreditations or reaccreditations are going to require the use of the 2026 standards. Unless there's arrangements made directly with accreditation, I'm not going to get into that. If you're working with them, you'll know. Just plan on basically the 2026 standards. You'll be using those for your accreditation services if you're getting a new one or your reaccreditation. April 1st, 2026 is when the mental health accreditation standards, if you're getting a new mental health accreditation or you're being reaccredited, April 1st and beyond, you'll be using the 2026 and not the 2015 version that's currently out there. If you have questions, contact accreditation and your contacts over there directly on that. We talk about the Pinnacle Awards. This is something at the national conference. We should, I believe, I don't have the awards in front of me, but every year when a facility achieves a Pinnacle, they're actually presented with a formal award at the national conference. They talk about that. Pinnacle means that you've received accreditation in all 3 of the disciplines. That's your health services, whether you're a jail or prison or juvenile. You've done your mental health services accreditation and also the opioid treatment program accreditation. So you're carrying all 3 of those successful accreditations to achieve the Pinnacle Award. We will recognize the facilities that have achieved that typically at the award ceremony and that breakfast, or that that kickoff in the morning at the conference, and you'll see that. More information about accreditation. I mentioned if you have any questions for them directly, you can contact them. If you're a current client, especially, you want to contact them directly. If you're looking for information on becoming accredited, my information will be at the end of the presentation as well. But that's Amy and her team there. Amy and Wendy are basically the faces of. Sandra's brand new to us. She's awesome. I hope you'll get a chance to meet her. She will be at the conference. And Carrie, of course, is out there. If you've had Carrie on one of your surveys, she's awesome as well. We have a great team there that works with accreditation. They will 100% help you if you have any questions, and we'll make sure you get the information you need. All right, so we're going to have a certification. I'll turn this over to Matisa real quick. Matisa, you're good to go.
Thank you, Rich. And welcome everyone again. Rich spoke a lot to the standards and accreditation. So if you think about certification, certification is to an individual what accreditation is to a facility, right? There's some kind of measure, acceptable measure that's established by NCCHC of that threshold of what meets the requirements for accreditation or certification. Certification is no exception. Um, there are multiple exams which will hit very briefly on. I'm going to really try and give you the highest level overview possible, but there's a lot of information. So I'll tell you now, and I'll get more into detail at the end. Please, conference is a great place to find out more about it. And if you're somebody that's already registered to take the exam, obviously you know a lot of the basics, but if you have any questions, there's more information. Boy, you're just rushing through the slides there, Kim. Uh,
That one was an accident.
it's okay. I'll just say this. We have multiple certifications. Our CCHP is going to be what everybody starts with, and that is directly an exam related to the jail prison standards as well as juvenile. And that is the stepping stone if you're interested in specialty certification or advanced certification. Um, okay, here's the slide back. Okay, you're just confusing me at this point. Please stop. Um, okay, so we also have advanced certification, also very heavy in the standards. Keep in mind, besides the CCHP that everyone starts with, advanced and specialty will sometimes branch out from the standards, but always include that baseline um, knowledge of the standards. And sometimes the standards are used as secondary references, but where advanced will branch out and look at maybe some recent white papers, publications, even specific conference sessions or webinars. Um, we're always going to, in some way, big or small, revert back to the standards because anything CCHP would need to be in compliance with that. Likewise, for RN, we do have other study material we use, but nothing that would ever be out of compliance with the standards. Mental health, I'll talk a little bit more on the next slide. That's probably going to see the most change with the upcoming standards. But then, of course, our clinical providers also draw from quite a wealth of knowledge, but standards is always kind of your baseline. But if you would go to the next slide, please. The big news I want to give to everybody, I want to cover just a few things here. Number one is, with the release of the standards, jail and prison, we give every CCHP applicant 6 months to be able to kind of catch up and decide if they want to take the exam now based on the current standards, or wait and take the exam based on the newer standards. So to that end, February 25th is the start date for CCHP, CPA, and also RN exams to be having that updated updated material that's reflected in the 2026 jail and prison standards. And then April 1st, CCHPMH exam will be updated for the mental health standards. The mental health standards by far went through some of the most substantial changes, not only changes by the content, but by the content area. If you have questions, what I mean when I say that, please head on over to our website and look at any of the candidate handbooks where kind of the exam is spliced into little tidy compartments. But by and large, that'll be the most changed. The other thing I want to say for anybody, and there's been a few people in the chat who have asked about, you're not sure of the status of your application, you want to know if you can register for the exam. Very hard to answer without me looking into your personal record. And just for the record, all of our exam materials went on a truck headed to Baltimore last Friday. So there's not a lot we could do in the in-between, but we can at least update you, kind of let you know where you're at and what you can expect. Number one is you want to, if you're expecting to take the exam on Sunday, and you're not sure the status of your application, please email us. I already put the email in the chat. It's cchp@ncchc.org. Either Kelly or myself will get back to you and let you know the status of your application, perhaps some next steps, and then what you could do to also register for the exam. If you know for a fact your application has been approved and you just missed the last step, which was to register, you can also email us. We'll be happy to answer as much as we can before we actually leave for conference. But anything from, I'd say, like Thursday on, please just come directly to the right outside the exam room. And I believe that's 328-329. And I could put it in the chat for you as well. You're going to look for Kelly. She'll be probably not looking too lonely, but she'll be by herself at a little table with a computer. And you're going to come and see her, see about getting added to the exam. And then hopefully by then you will have, taken whatever steps you needed to get your application completed. But if you have any hope whatsoever of taking the exam on Sunday, you have to have at least your application completed. So I'll say that, stop by the booth at any time during the breaks. And then on Monday at the conference, session 421 in the afternoon, both Kelly and myself will be kind of diving in deeper, giving you a lot more information about certification. Sorry, I really did try and keep it short. I think it was all the slides switching around that threw me off a little.
Probably. It was the slides.
Yeah.
Someone asked if it's too late to send in an application, Matisa.
You're muted. Matisa, you're
Matisa, you're, yep, there you
Okay,
go.
sorry about that. So yes, the deadline was 2 weeks ago. I will say, and I'll shout it out loud from the rooftop. If you at least have your application completed, that means you fill out the online form, you pay the fee, you send in your CV or resume, you send in your license or verification of your highest level of education required for your position. If you've done all these things and have an approved application, you're much more likely to be able to register late for the exam and take the exam on Sunday.
We're not going to be reviewing applications that morning.
No.
We're not able to do that. Thank you, Matisa.
right. So next up, we'll go into some education meetings. I did see Anna's in the room. Anna's with us from education. Anna, did you want to say anything about education, or do you want me to go ahead and go into that? I just wanted to open that up to you since you're here attending. Or I thought I saw you here.
I'm just here as a learner. Thank you.
All right, cool. No problem. All right, so education meetings. So basically, if you have not, I saw about 2/3 of our folks that were on the call on the webinar today have not attended a conference before. So as Kim had talked about, one of the biggest values you're going to get out of this is not only the education, the content that's there, because it's directly relevant to what we do every day in correctional healthcare. It's also the networking, is that you're going to have that experience. The people you sit next to, the people that you have a drink next to, the people you have dinner next to, the people that you're just talking to in the hallways. The opportunities here are huge to be able to answer this. I think one of the biggest things, I think we all can nod our heads as soon as we say this, is when you go to a conference like this, and we all know we deal with things in our facilities and our operations, we think we're kind of on an island alone dealing with these things. I think one of the biggest takeaways you get from these conferences is you're not alone. There's a lot of commonality with the issues that are out there across the field, and you're able to talk to other folks and maybe even get some solutions to what they've done to overcome some of those challenges. I would tell you that's one of the biggest things with the networking. We constantly hammer about that networking is don't be afraid to talk about the issues you're dealing with. Don't be afraid to ask for solutions, and don't be afraid to offer solutions. If you've been successful overcoming some of these issues, I guarantee you there's going to be people attending that are dealing with the same challenges now. They're stressed out. They're not sleeping at night. They're worried about what's going on, and you might be able to help them with that. And that two-way street there that you have, the conference opens up the opportunity for that. They're renowned because of the direct specificity to your correctional health care. That's what's unique about what NCCHC conferences bring to the table, is we're going to be focusing solely on these issues in correctional health care, including your vendors, including going to the exhibit hall. When we're down there and visiting our vendors and we're out there talking to our folks there, the services they offer directly will apply to what you're doing. And you could find a solution, something at our conference. The education's phenomenal. You're going to get your continuing education units. Kim had talked about how we claim that. That's always one of the bigger questions. We'll be able to help you on site as well if you have some confusion on that. But the lineup we offer, the selectivity that we get, because we get tons of submissions that come in. We select the best of the best for these courses when they get put out there. You're going to have some outstanding training here. If you're here as a team, I do suggest, I know Kim mentioned everybody likes to stay in a group and kind of go together to the classes. You might find opportunities, though, to hit those different tracks and bring back some information collectively as a group if you have more than one of you attending this from your organization. So consider that, take a good look, and plan ahead for sure when you come in, because there's a lot of opportunity here. The standards training is going to be excellent. We have those pre-conference seminars that are out there. Those are great as well. And with the new standards coming out, it's very important. It's a good turnout. And that's just going to be available to everybody here. We also offer some training at the client sites as part of our thing. That's part of our education. It's not formally under education, but our consulting arm and what we do, we actually go out to facilities and offer training as part of what we do, so we can answer questions at the exhibits. We will have an exhibit on that set up. So kind of a breakdown of the attendees. People kind of asked that. We saw earlier when we did the poll, who's been here, who's not been here before. This is a breakdown of the different levels that people work at. And we're going to do a little poll here, I believe, Cam. I think we have a poll set up usually for that to kind of see who we have here today. Oh, we do. There we go. So I guess we'll go into that next. Always good to see who's all here. Interesting. All right. Very good.
Nice,
Balance.
very rounded. Yeah, exactly.
Good balance there.
Yeah.
And pretty close to the percentages we see. So you'll see what's nice is you get people with the different perspectives. Again, I mentioned this educational opportunity you have at the conference is phenomenal. Thankfully you're able to attend. We're looking forward to everybody being there, and take advantage of those opportunities to talk, ask questions, listen, and of course help. Also, that's a big thing. Everybody's looking for help or looking for that answer, and we advocate sharing that information, sharing best practices, just like we do when we put our information out. For more information on your education and meetings, we have some of our upcoming events here listed as well. We will have a virtual winter conference in December, and then of course our spring conference and our mental health care conferences next year in April and July respectively, that we do annually. There's your emails and your contacts. We also have recorded webinars. There's continuing education units that are tied to those. There are fees to majority of those for the recorded webinars, but we do have them on the website available for training. If you find topics you're interested in, we actually have those available, and you do get CEUs for those as well. If it's not for yourself, for others that weren't able to make the conference. So Foundation, Kim, I think I was going to turn this over to you real quick to discuss some of the stuff that's been going on there.
Yep, we're just a little tight on time, so we will go ahead and just go through this fairly quickly. But you may have heard about the NCCHC Foundation. Really heavy interest on workforce development, bringing new people into the field, educating the people who are in there, and re-entry. This year, we have 15 scholarship winners who are coming out to the conference, who won through a scholarship application essay test, basically. So over time, over the last 5 years, we've brought 250 people to NCCHC in person and online conferences. We've got some fun fundraisers going on. We mentioned the Bottomless Mimosa Cruise, and that says last day to register is November 1st, but today we found out that it's October 30th. We do have a raffle that will be taking place on site, and you'll have the ability to buy your raffle tickets, 20 for $20 or 1 for $5. Walk around the show floor and drop your raffle tickets in at the booths that have a prize that you actually want. So it's different than we've done it in the past, but this is the new raffle program, and so you'll have more choices about what you actually want to win, and I think you'll have a better chance of winning as well. So go around and do your most damage. We also have a cool artist in residence fundraiser this year. If you donate at a certain level, she does have gifts and prizes of art projects and other items that were made by incarcerated people. Stuffed animals, keychains, coasters, some nice wood products. You'll be able to choose those off the shelf while they are there. So we want to thank Physician Correctional for hosting that, for sponsoring that. And we want to thank you, hopefully, for participating in that. So any more questions, check out the NCCHC Foundation or stop by booth 500, and there's going to be a lot of signage. You won't be able to miss it. Back to you.
Awesome, thanks. And I'll be really quick here, Kim, because I know the time is tight here. Time flies when you're having fun, right? NCCHC Resources, they do our technical assistance consulting services. They work in all types of facilities. Again, standards are the basis of everything we do across this organization. So the standards are the basis of what they do when they go out and do the consulting and technical assistance. We work with independent experts, put that team together depending on what the needs are of the facility, and work on that scope of work and put that together for you. Next slide kind of shows real quick some of the examples of what we do. RFP development, monitoring, contract development's a big one lately with the language on that. Evaluating your healthcare systems, evaluating readiness for accreditation, and then training. We mentioned earlier that we also will tailor training, whether it's CIT, suicide prevention, things like that, that are topics that facilities are looking for to come in as a third party and help with that. We will have an exhibit here for NCCHC Resources. You can contact them directly if you have any questions, or you can contact me as well. And our contact information will be listed here toward the end. The team will be at the booth. I'll be covering that booth for them. I think they have some stuff going on during one of the days, so I'll be there as well. And if we can answer any questions for you, you have any needs, just feel free to stop by. All right, so we've kind of hit on this a bit. We hit on the different disciplines. We hit on the first timers that are coming in. We hit on those that have experience coming in. It's a great experience. There's a lot going on, and we run a conference. It's very efficient. The time is right there. The schedule is very tight. It might be a little overwhelming, but take it all in and enjoy it, because you're going to benefit from attending this conference. I guarantee you're going to take something away. And we'd love to hear your stories of what you do take away at some point. If you see one of us running around at the conference, or we will be running around. So, but feel free to stop us and say hi as well. We appreciate you coming, and we're looking forward to seeing you there.
This is a copy of the slides. You don't have to write down this link. It is on the website right now under the registration tab. It does say welcome overview and slides, so you can download them, and then as soon as we're done here and we get the recording, we'll have the recording there as well.
And Kim, I just put the link in the chat, so somebody can click it, make it easy. So
fabulous. We are now at the question and answer portion of our time here, and then if you want to let us know if you found this to be useful, we would love to hear it. And if not, let us know in the chat or by email later what you would have liked to cover. And we'll stop sharing so we can see you. And
nobody wanted an email. That's good. Thank you.
we got good results on this one. So thank you for coming. I've stopped sharing so we can see your faces. If you have any questions, if you want to call them out now or you want to put them in the chat, we are certainly here for a few minutes, and we appreciate the time that you've spent with us today.
Thanks so much.
Matissa, sorry, somebody had a question that you may not have seen because it went by. Oh, you saw it. Okay, great.
Oh, I missed this. I think this question came up also, Matissa, where the CCHP is not effective till 1/1/26. But if you're taking,
I already answered her.
oh, I'm sorry. Okay, I probably didn't hear it.
Yeah, I also put my direct email. You can either use CCHP@NCCHC. It's a lot easier to remember. So I'll check that one as well. But I also put my direct email, which is matissasalmons@ncchc.org. I will be happy to accommodate you as much as possible. Just please email me directly.
Somebody had a question in here on if they have to retake the CCHP exam when the new standards come out.
No, we wouldn't do that to you. That's just mean. But we do expect our CCHPs. That's why we offer CE through our conferences. We expect our CCHPs to stay up to date on newer standards as they're revised and all the newest and best practices across the board. But no, we're not going to take the exam again.
Great. Lieutenant Earl, you have your hand up very nicely, and you're on
I
mute.
do. Am I still muted?
Nope,
Can you hear?
good.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. I just had one quick question. I know there is an interview portion that was emailed a document about. Are there going to be specific questions that we can be given beforehand to prepare for the video portion?
Sure. Are you one of our scholarship winners?
I am.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you.
Yes, I will have Barb reach out to you, and it'll be mostly conversational, just about your background and what you're getting out of the conference. But I will have her get in touch with you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Sure thing.
Congratulations again, LT.
Thank you, sir.
Anybody else? All right. We will hang on here for a couple minutes. I know sometimes people want to ask questions after most people leave, so we're here for a few more. And thank you again. We'll see you in a couple days.
Safe travels, everybody. See you there.
Safe travel. All right. All good. Matisa, did you see there's somebody else with the same question about getting their exam now? Or maybe that was the 2026 standards. No, I think you're okay.
Yeah.
All right.
answered that one.
We're going to close it up. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, everybody. Take care. Bye, Mary.
Thanks. See you soon.
Richard.